All right, so I wanted to get back to where I was in the previous video. So we're going to talk about juicing fruit and also a couple other things. And I also want to touch on diseases that are caused by, a lot of diseases were caused by dis-ease, and it's actually an energetic level thing. I don't know how much I want to dive into that in this one, but we will see where we get to it. I don't want to make any of these videos too long. So anyway, back to the point. Hopefully you watched part one. If you didn't, I'll link it here somewhere, and just go watch that. So the fruit is going to dissolve stuff in your body. So it's going to dissolve the mucuses. It's going to dissolve all the extra fats in your arteries. It's going to dissolve some of the cholesterol that you've got clogging up your arteries. It's going to dissolve this stuff, but it can't do it if you keep adding that stuff back in. It just can't do it. So this is, I guarantee this is why Kempner added, this is another thing. Somebody asked me what Kempner's exact plan was. He does not have it. There is nothing in that book. You can read the book, the entire thing, if you want to, but there is nothing in it about what his exact diet plan. He did not touch on anything other than how many calories he fed certain people. Most of it was really just, this is what the diet did. This is who Walter Kempner was. Some testimonials, what he went through with the AMA. A lot of this stuff is going to trigger some alarms with YT, so I don't know how much I want to delve into that. So there was no, there's no blueprint. So this is, everything that we're doing in this Rice Challenge is stuff that I have pieced together by listening to people that worked with him, people that ran the Rice diet clinic in Santa Rosa or wherever that thing was up until about 2013, and adding things in and doing just basic math, and this is what I came up with. So this is what it is. I don't have anything other than that. You can get the book for yourself and read it, just so if you need to know, but there's no blueprint in that book. Another thing, I would have to think that he added that stuff in because he knew of the effect that citrus had, especially citrus and apples and bananas to some extent, but I don't know. The only thing that I know that he added in was citrus, and I think apples too, from what I've read and stuff like that. It's very hard to find information on what happened at the Rice Diet Clinic. It really is very hard to find it. So this is where we're at with that. Now, I did want to talk about diseases that are caused by excess protein. Diseases that are caused by excess protein are cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, and autoimmune diseases. Sorry, forgot. So we got autoimmune, cancer, Alzheimer, and dementia. I wanted to talk about diseases that are caused by fat and cholesterol. And that would be heart diseases, clogged arteries, and diabetes. Those three. Now, there's obviously others, and autoimmune really could be figured into that as well. So we got 4 on both sides. The diseases that are caused by extra carbohydrates in your diet, get ready for this, are 0. There's 0 things that come about from having extra carbohydrates in your system. 0. You can fight with me all you want. You go prove it to me that it's any other way. I have been in this field or studying these people and studying books and studying medical journals and studying all that kind of stuff for 20 years. None of it links back to carbohydrates unless it's like burned carbohydrates or something like a carcinogen, or if you are cooking meat and you put sugar on it and it's a carcinogen effect from the sugar that you're burning on the grill or whatever, then yes, you might have something there. That's just because you turn the sugar into a carcinogen by burning it. I mean, that is not the normal sugar. It's just kind of like when they test the calories in an item, they burn the item to see how much energy it gives off, and then they put a calculation on that, and that's how many calories is in the item. Doesn't make any sense. And I will also say this as well. There is no disease that I can find in anybody who eats a normal diet, even Asian diets, back when they just ate primarily white rice, there is no such thing as a protein deficiency, even eating, or like if you take the Irish diet, when they were just eating straight up potato, there was no such thing is a protein deficiency. There may be some in people who in Africa where we're taking all their food to feed to the cows that you're now eating on the keto diet that's actually killing you, even though you think because you're skinny that it's not doing anything to you. It's killing you. You can fight with me all you want, or you could just go with your buddy and inject steroids into your ass just to see how big you can get, and then somehow that's healthy. So you got a whole lot of bad coming from excess fat and excess protein, but there's no consequences for extra carbohydrates, because all your body does is heat up and burn it off, store it in the muscle bodies as muscle glycogen, store it in the liver, piss it out, or use it, put it in cells. So, and I also wanted to talk about energy levels again, because I thought a lot of people responded to that, and I thought there was a good energy off that. And it's all about energy. You can see the vibrance of the fruits and vegetables. If you go into a grocery store, you can see how vibrant, even in the conventional stuff, how vibrant. I would almost argue some of the conventional is even more vibrant because it lasts longer. I mean, some of the stuff they put on that is not great. And I stay away from conventional unless you can cut the skin off. And then, it's probably still not the greatest. But as far as like oranges and citrus and stuff goes, it is very hard to find organic citrus, very hard to find. And when you do find it, it's the little sack bag with mold in it that's like $85 a bag, so nobody buys it. Now, if you're talking about apples, it's not hard to find organic apples at all. But if you're talking about straight up citrus, other than lemons and limes, it is very hard to find, even at Whole Foods, stuff that you can actually afford to eat at volume affordably. So I go with conventional. But anyway, back to the point. You go into the produce section and you're like, wow, is this vibrant? I mean, you can see the energy coming off this stuff. You can see the energy. You can see it. You can feel it. You touch the stuff, and if you look at the power versus force, when he talks about if you put something positive in your hand, you have all the strength in the world, but if you put something not positive in your hand, you have no strength. And that's the exact same thing. So then if you go into like a store with the produce, whichever all of them do, and there's actually some stores actually shutting down all of their meat section. I don't know if that was here in America, but I know in England there's some chains that are actually getting rid of meat altogether. And you go in there, and then if you go to the meat section, you can smell it. It's like putrefied. If like a little piece of salmon gets down in a little underneath the counter and somebody can't clean it, you can smell it in the entire store. They use petroleum jelly, red petroleum jelly, to put on the meat to keep it red, because I don't know if anybody's ever seen a carcass on the side of the road that got hit by a vehicle and is dead. It doesn't look too pretty. Real quick. I mean, real quick. So, and I worked in the food industry for 7 years, and yeah, we used it all the time. And actually, some of the trouts and stuff like that aren't even in their natural color. So they kill a regular trout, and then they dye this stuff with petroleum jelly to get it the color that you're buying it, and then they charge you more to eat this toxic petroleum jelly that they just dyed your food with. So, I mean, if you like having a little side of Vaseline with your food, then thumbs up. So anyway, they inject this stuff with different sodiums, and they inject this stuff with red petroleum dye. And that is how they keep the meat the color that it is. Unless you are a butcher and you go to like a market and they butchered the animal in the basement, a lot of the times they won't use it. But if you're buying it at somewhere that does not butcher this stuff, generally, even if it's grass-fed or whatever, they have some kind of petroleum dye in it, generally. Now, there are some that don't. So I'm going to have like the 1%. There's always that 1% of something that doesn't do it. So somebody brings up that thing. Or like somebody will bring up like Betty White like hot dogs. Okay. And you got 99% of the people dying early because they're eating hot dogs. But one person eats hot dogs, and all of a sudden, everybody should eat hot dogs and vodka. I mean, it's the most ridiculous comment. So anyways, you can see the vibration of it. And then even further, you cook this stuff, and you can't just cook it normally because nobody eats it that way. They put the sugar on it to cook it just to get it down. But most people don't go to the meat counter and say, oh man, that looks great, I just want to eat it the way it is. They're like, no, they're talking about all the rubs they're going to put on it, all the salt they're going to put on it, all the mayonnaise they're going to put on it, all the mustard they're going to put on, the ketchup, the barbecue sauce. I mean, because it's so good that they got to put all this stuff on it. I mean, if you watch the Food Network, and some of these people will go through like 7-8 day processes on this meat just to get it down. All the fruit, and all this fruit, all you got to do is peel it or do whatever, and you can eat it right there. But you don't got to go through some 7-8 day process to get meat to taste good enough to actually eat it, because you can't eat it the way it actually is. Nor could you kill the animal with your own bare hands. You got to shoot it in the face with a gun. So none of this makes any sense, but you keep on going with your keto. Look at the energy levels of this stuff. There's no energy in death. When you're dead, there's no energy left. When you're fully vibrant and living, like even potatoes are fully living organisms that you cook down and you eat all the storage unit, and they're built for this. That's why they multiply so much. They can't possibly multiply this much and think that each one of them is going to grow. They would all kill each other and die out. They purposely grow as many as they do because they need us to eat the stuff. But then we take all the seeds out of the oranges and all the citrus and the watermelons that we're supposed to be eating, because we are the reason that they keep multiplying. But then so some companies come around and they take out the seeds and everything like that. So we're not even eating it the way we're supposed to be eating. But it's supposed to grow like this. This is what we're supposed to do to eat this kind of stuff. It has a vibration. We resonate with that vibration. We resonate with it. This is how we survive. And then we took the vibration of the rice and the potatoes and all the grains and everything when we were moving different locations, because the stuff can store for like 10-15 years. Like if you look at the people in the Himalayas, they actually make their potatoes in these little cubes that they can store for like 10 years, and they just put them in water and they make a mash out of it if they're going to be hiking somewhere. They don't do this, and most of the time they don't do this with meat, and meat is not going to last 10 years, and it's a lot heavier. This one is just about the vibration of food. Leave some comments down below. Give me some comments. Give me some questions or whatever. Give it a thumbs up. Change the new name. Hope everybody likes it. So this is my video. I hope you like it, and I will see you in the next video.